You are floating in the middle of more water than you could drink in 1,000 lifetimes, and it is going to kill you by drying you out. Every direction you look, it's there, right up to the edge of the world, and you cannot drink a single drop of it. That is the cruel joke of the open ocean. You will die of thirst in the one place that has no shortage of water. Welcome to the worst possible place to be. Why it sucks to be lost at sea. Let's set the scene. A minute ago you had a boat. Now you don't. Maybe it hit something in the dark. Maybe a wave the size of a building rolled it. Maybe the engine coughed twice and died, and by the time you understood what that meant, the land was already gone. However it happened, the result is the same. You are in the water, or if you're lucky, in a life raft about 2 meters across. That's roughly 6 feet, the size of a kiddie pool. And there is nothing else. No coastline, no boat, no island, just a flat gray circle of ocean with you shivering in the middle of it. And about 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers of nothing in every direction. And here's the first thing nobody tells you. The ocean is not going to attack you. It doesn't need to. It's just going to sit there and let 3 very patient things take you apart, one at a time. The cold, the thirst, and your own mind. Let's take them in order. The cold gets first crack at you, and it moves fast. If you went into the water, you have a problem that starts in the first 60 seconds, and it's not drowning. It's called cold shock. The moment cold water hits your skin, your body panics. You gasp, hard, an enormous involuntary breath you cannot stop. If your head is underwater when that gasp happens, you inhale the ocean, and it's over before you've even understood you're in trouble. And even if your face is clear, your breathing goes haywire, your heart rate spikes, and for a couple of minutes you physically cannot hold your breath or control your own lungs. People who could swim perfectly well in a pool have drowned within arm's reach of a floating object in those first 2 minutes, because the cold switched their body off. Say you survive the gasp. Now the water starts doing the slow thing. Water pulls heat out of your body around 25 times faster than air. So even in water that feels mild, say 18 degrees Celsius, about 65 Fahrenheit, you are cooling from the inside. First you shiver, then your fingers stop working, which is a special kind of cruelty, because your hands are the tools you need to climb into the raft, hold the flare, hang on. Cold hands are useless hands. Within an hour or so, if the water's cold enough, the shivering stops, which sounds like good news and is actually the opposite. It means your body has given up trying to warm itself. Your thoughts slow down. You feel, weirdly, warm and sleepy. That warmth is your brain shutting the lights off one room at a time. People in the final stage of hypothermia have been found to have taken their clothes off because their brain, scrambled by the cold, decided it was overheating. That's the ocean's first offer. Quiet, painless, and it wants you to say yes. So getting out of the water and into that little raft isn't a comfort. It's survival. It's the difference between hours and days. And if you manage it, congratulations. You've traded the fast death for the slow one, because now comes the thirst. You can go about 3 weeks without food. You can go maybe 3 days without water. Out here, food is honestly the least of your worries, because the ocean is full of fish. And we'll get to that. Water is the thing that runs the clock. And within a day, maybe 2, your body is going to start screaming for it, and you are going to be surrounded, completely surrounded, by the exact thing you cannot have. Let's walk the clock, because it's grim and it's fast. Day 1, your mouth goes dry and sticky, that cottonmouth feeling, and you tell yourself you're fine. You're not fine, but you're fine. Day 2, the headache arrives and doesn't leave. Your pee has gone dark, and there's almost none of it, and standing up in a bobbing raft makes the world swim. By day 3, your tongue is swelling, your lips are splitting, your skin has stopped bouncing back when you pinch it, because there's no water left in it to spring. Your blood is literally getting thicker, so your heart has to work harder to push it around, and your thinking is going soft at the edges. Somewhere past there, your kidneys start to shut down, because they can't run without water any more than an engine can run without oil. Because you know what happens if you drink it. Everyone knows in a vague way that you shouldn't drink seawater. Almost nobody knows why, and the why is genuinely nasty. Seawater is about 4 times saltier than the fluid in your body. When you drink it, all that salt floods into your bloodstream, and your body has one tool to get rid of extra salt: your kidneys, which flush it out in urine. But your kidneys have a hard limit. They physically cannot make urine saltier than seawater. So to pee out the salt from 1 cup of seawater, your body has to pull more than a cup of fresh water out of your own tissues to dilute it enough to expel. You drink a cup, you lose more than a cup. Every mouthful of the ocean makes you thirstier than you were before you drank it. It's a debt you can never pay off. And as the salt builds up, water gets pulled out of your brain cells, and the seawater drinker goes confused, then delirious, then starts having seizures. The old sailor's line, "Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink," was not poetry. They watched men drink the sea and die faster than the men who didn't. Now, one man decided to argue with that. In 1952, a French doctor named Alain Bombard was so sure that castaways were dying of fear rather than thirst that he climbed into a small rubber dinghy and deliberately drifted across the Atlantic to prove it. 65 days, no supplies. He claimed he survived on tiny sips of seawater, fluids squeezed from raw fish, and rainwater. And he became a hero. There's just one problem. When people looked at it later, it turned out he'd almost certainly taken on food and fresh water from a passing ship partway across. And doctors who ran the numbers said his seawater advice would kill a real castaway who followed it. So please, do not take survival tips from the confident Frenchman. He is exactly the "well, actually" comment that gets people killed. Because the real survivors did the opposite. They treated the ocean as the enemy it is. Take Stephen Callahan. In 1982, something, probably a whale, punched a hole in his little sailboat in the middle of the night, and he escaped into a life raft. About 1.5 meters wide, with a survival kit and a couple of solar stills, little bags that use the sun to turn seawater into a trickle of fresh water. He drifted for 76 days. 76. He speared fish, mostly mahi-mahi, until an entire little ecosystem was following his raft across 1,800 miles, nearly 3,000 kilometers of ocean. His body was covered in open saltwater sores. He lost 1/3 of his body weight. His raft kept deflating, and he kept patching it, in the dark, with his hands shaking. And every single day, the honest answer to "will I be alive tomorrow" was, maybe. He made it. Most people in his situation don't. When you picture dying at sea, you picture the shark. The fin, the music, the water going red. Here's the truth. The shark is almost never what gets you. Sharks are curious, sometimes they'll bump the raft, and yes, occasionally it goes badly. But statistically, the thing that kills people lost at sea is not teeth. It's dehydration. It's hypothermia. It's the sun cooking you day after day with nowhere to hide, burning your skin, roasting your eyes. The ocean doesn't need a monster. The ocean is the monster, and it kills you with boredom and sunshine and salt. The shark is just there to make it interesting. And you might be thinking, fine, but people are looking for me. Here's the cold arithmetic on that. The ocean covers more than 130 million square miles, over 340 million square kilometers. Your raft from above is a gray speck, a couple of meters across, on a surface that is also gray, under a sky that is often gray. Search planes fly grid patterns for days, and pass within a mile, 1.5 kilometers, of castaways and see nothing. And you are not staying still. Currents drag you dozens of miles a day. So the search box someone drew around your last known position is wrong by the time the first plane takes off, and gets wronger every hour. Callahan drifted 1,800 miles. Alvarenga, and we'll get to him, drifted more than 6,000, nearly 10,000 kilometers. Most people found at sea are found by pure blind luck. A fishing boat that happened to cross your patch of nothing, birds circling your raft that caught somebody's eye. You are not the main character of a rescue. You are a needle in a haystack that is itself moving on a planet mostly made of haystack. Which brings us to the third thing, the one that takes longest and might be the worst. Your own head. There is nothing to look at. Same gray water, same empty sky, hour after hour, day after day. No shade. No sound but the slap of waves. No idea if anyone's even looking for you, or if they gave up a week ago. Time stops meaning anything, and the human brain was not built for that much nothing. So it fills the silence itself. Survivors report vivid hallucinations, islands that aren't there, ships that aren't there, voices, whole conversations with people who don't exist. And the horrible part is, you can't always tell which is real. Is that a ship? Or is that your dying brain drawing you a ship because you begged it to? So here's the part that actually matters. How do you not die out here? Because people have survived this, and they did specific things. Rule 1. Get out of the water. The cold is the fastest killer, so climb onto the raft, the hull, the wreckage, anything, and get as much of your body out of the sea as you can. Rule 2. And burn this in. Never ever drink the seawater, no matter how much your own thirst begs you to. Rule 3. Catch every drop of fresh water you can. Rig anything, a tarp, a sail, your own jacket to funnel rain, because a single downpour can buy you days. Rule 4. Get out of the sun. Sunstroke and those saltwater sores will finish you nearly as fast as thirst, so build shade from whatever you've got. Rule 5, and this is the one people get most wrong. Stay put. Do not try to swim for a shore you think you saw. Stay with your boat or your raft, because a boat is a far bigger, more visible target than a lone head in the water. And modern boats carry an emergency beacon, an EPIRB, that screams your exact position to a satellite the moment it hits the water. Set it off, stay near it, ration your energy, and wait. The people who live are almost never the ones who fought the ocean. They're the ones who refuse to make a single stupid mistake. For one more day, and then one more. Until someone finally saw them. Because the human body, given a scrap of shade, a trickle of fresh water, and a mind stubborn enough not to drink the sea, can outlast the open ocean for a shockingly long time. There was a British sailor named Poon Lim, whose ship was torpedoed in the Second World War. He spent 133 days alone on a small wooden raft in the Atlantic. And he engineered his own survival out of garbage. He bent the spring from his flashlight into a fishhook, unraveled rope into fishing line, rigged the canvas canopy to catch rainwater, and caught birds with his bare hands. And there's a fisherman named Jose Salvador Alvarenga who holds the record nobody wants. 438 days adrift in the Pacific. Over a year. He lived on raw fish, sea turtles, seabirds, and rain, drifting more than 6,000 miles, nearly 10,000 kilometers, until he crawled up onto a beach in the Marshall Islands, alive, barely, and unrecognizable. And that's the thing about being lost at sea. Everywhere else that stick has been trapped, there was a wall, a lid, a wave, something with an edge, something you could push against. Here there's nothing to fight. The ocean doesn't hate you. It doesn't even know you're there. It's just going to keep doing exactly what it's done for 4 billion years, in every direction, forever, while you sit in the middle of it, thirsty, and slowly figure out that the most water you have ever seen in your life is the reason you're about to die. You are surrounded by water, and you cannot drink a single drop of it. So if you made it this far, do stick a favor. Hit follow and subscribe. And stick around because next week we're dropping him someone new and even worse. Where's he going to end up? What is Stick going to face this time? You'll have to be here to find out.